Stephen A. Smith had a very strong response for Charles Barkley, who was once again critical of his now soon-to-be employer, ESPN. I've never seen anything like this. For those who don't know, Turner is going to license Inside the NBA out to ESPN starting next season. Charles Barkley has been very vocal in the past about how he feels like ESPN employees are overworked, how he doesn't really like the nature of the company and the topics that they talk about. So Chuck, once again, on Inside the NBA, said Kendrick Perkins is an idiot. He said the Lakers have saved the NBA season. Chuck said, first of all, they've had 2 good weeks. Them fools on the other network, which we're going to be working for next year, that's all they talk about. Don't get me wrong. If I turn out wrong about the Lakers, I'll admit it, but y'all idiots talk about the Lakers and Warriors all the time. Talk about Oklahoma City and the Cavs, who have been balling for 6 months. Y'all talking about teams that have had 2 great weeks. So Stephen A. responded to Chuck's comments about ESPN. He said, yo, Chuck, stop the BS with y'all. Attach a name to it. I know I've been talking about the Cavs being the number 1 threat to the Celtics. Once you come over here, there's going to be some folks waiting to call you a fool. P.S. You know I love you, though. See y'all soon. But in the end, Chuck's wrong. What he talks about, what we talk about, I'm sick and tired of people acting like, oh my goodness, we only talk about the Cowboys during football season. We only talk about the Lakers during basketball season. That is factually incorrect. We are on a 2-hour-a-day program, 10 hours a week live. We run from nothing, said Stephen A. in response to Chuck. So I'm going to talk about this. I have to be honest with the people because I don't like lying. I've been a creator for the last 7-8 years. Keep in mind, I'm in the job market, all right? And there's a good chance my next gig will not be camera facing. I don't know how it's gonna play out, but I'm in the job market. So, and these are 2 companies that I've actively been interviewing with in ESPN and and Turner, right? Which is where Chuck and company work for now. So keep that in mind. I'm not going to placate my responses to anybody, but I obviously can't go in because I gotta be honest. I don't like lying to people. I'm in the job market right now. I'm looking for my next big gig. I believe my talents acquiesce perfectly for one of those companies, especially ESPN, since I already worked there before, but in a different role, right? That highlights who I've become. With that being said, I want to say this to Charles Barkley. I don't know what's going on with Chuck. I've been noticing a trend with Charles over the last 2-3 seasons. You know, we have given Inside the NBA all the flowers in the world of being the greatest, not just sports show period that you can find on TV, let alone at 1 a.m. Okay. But there are some things we need to talk to Charles about because he's starting to give off that get off my lawn energy that I felt like for over 2 decades Inside the NBA never gave, right? Like it always had been a fresh show with fresh ideas. I don't know if you want to blame producers, whatever. But when he touches that microphone, he's definitely giving out get off my lawn with the NBA product. And a lot of people are starting to say, all right, Chuck, damn, enjoy the games. Every time he talks, he's mad. And he only talks like once a week. It's like, damn, Chuck, do you like anything about the sport that you cover that you get paid millions of dollars to cover? And I want to say this, as much as he's discussing what ESPN covers throughout the day, I don't see a lot of topics of variance from Turner and Inside the NBA at night, where you're the top paid talent on that program, Chuck. I'll leave it at that, but don't act like y'all not talking about the Lakers and Warriors. And as much influence Stephen A. has at ESPN, you don't think Charles Barkley has that with a smaller company in Turner and Inside the NBA, that crew, about what's produced and talked about? Stop it, Chuck. There's a beautiful thing going on in the NBA right now, and your brand is to highlight the negative as well. That's the reality of what's going on right now. We've already talked about ESPN. I mean, First Take, I'm sure, has some things that they would like to focus on more. I think they've done an exceptional job over the last year. The Max Kellerman, Stephen A. Smith iteration of First Take, in my opinion, was unwatchable. I believe that. I've said that to many people behind the scenes. Some that worked at ESPN at the time. It was unwatchable. I like the iteration of First Take right now. I like, obviously, Shannon Sharpe, one of the best broadcasters I've seen in this space. And then I like the jobs of some of the other talents that come in, like a Kendrick Perkins. I like the job that he does. Does he have moments? Yeah, but Kendrick gonna want to see Chuck one of these days over some of these comments that he's made. The breakdowns are much better on ESPN and from the NBA side than they are with Turner. Shaq and Chuck say the same things over and over again. Only Kenny adds variance in his breakdowns. We don't watch Inside the NBA because they break the game down. We love Chuck because he's hilarious and he's a legend, and Shaq because he's a legend, and Kenny because he's next to legends. And in a lot of ways, it's a TV legend, and Ernie's a legend, right? Like, Chuck's got to realize First Take is on at 10 a.m. in the morning. Their job is to get the viewer to turn their TV on to watch them. Inside the NBA is eating off of people that are already there for a basketball game. Now, they're staying because of their great show, but I don't like that. I don't like, if I'm being real with you on some black shit, if I'm being honest, I don't like Chuck and Stephen A being the faces of these brands, but these are not either of their companies. As great as they are, as much money they're making, they're kind of like speaking for the entire companies right now. I know for a fact there are a lot of people at Turner that don't think ESPN is doing a bad job. I know for a fact there are a lot of people at ESPN that loves Turner and what they've done over the years, right? So, I don't know, man. We've went long, man. What a long video. I might have to clip this bad boy out in the segments. It's so long. My freaking mouth hurts to pause of talking for so freaking long. Congrats to Stephen A on his new deal, though. I'm super happy for him. Stephen A, man. I talked to your guy. I'm not gonna say his name in this video. Actually, I talked to Rashawn McDonald, man. On my end, I would love to do something with you. Time, love, and support is what your boy will never take for granted. I'm out. If you love flexing your sports knowledge, you should head over to the best place to play fantasy sports and win some money while you're at it. That's Underdog. For me, I love the pick'em game. It's super simple to play too. All you got to do is go to the Underdog website or app. You got to pick whether a player will have a higher or lower stat line for that specific game. You get your picks right, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. And when you sign up, if you use your boy's promo code, which is Ferro, your deposit will get matched up to $1,000 is available to you in bonus cash. You can't beat that. Tap in with Underdog. My promo code is Ferro.